A very good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. So this video is on atmosphere, chapter number 2, class 7, geography. Last time I have taught you composition of atmosphere. In the composition of atmosphere, I have made a table there, where I have taught you about gases, permanent gases as well as variable gases, as well as suspended particulate matter, which are found in aerosols as well as water vapor. Now, so aerosols are made of SPM plus water. So what is SPM? SPM basically, which is a composition of atmosphere or the gases of atmosphere, is suspended particulate matter. These are known as SUSPENDED, suspended particulate, PARTICULATE, particulate matter. They are basically microscopic or scopic particles of solid or liquid matter found in the air or suspended in the air, which are responsible for scattering of lights, or lights get scattered due to this matter called SPM. So in the sky you find, or in the atmosphere or in the air you find blue or orange skies. It is due to SPM. Remember that. So the color of the sky is blue in color. It is due to SPM. Remember that heavier gases like oxygen, water vapor and dust particles are found in the lower layers, that is in the troposphere and stratosphere. You find heavier gases like oxygen, which is found, oxygen is found here. Therefore we are able to live on the earth. Even the dust particles and water vapor are found in the lower layers of the atmosphere. So the lowest layer near the surface of the earth is troposphere, then stratosphere. Whereas lighter gases like helium, hydrogen, etc. are found in the upper layers. So hydrogen, helium, etc. are found even in the exosphere, in the thermosphere, in the mesosphere, etc. Are understanding? So the amount of dust particles and water vapor, however, varies from equator towards the poles due to direct rays of the sun. Now let's take for example direct rays of the sun. Now if I draw a sun here, let's take for example if I make a sun here. If I make a sun here, SU and sun, I will write sun here, Then if I make earth, if I make earth, now the earth is cut into two equal halves by an imaginary line called equator. So this is 0 degree. The direct rays of the sun are basically felt or received at the equator, but the slanting rays of the sun, so the slanting rays of the sun are basically focus on the Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, or Tropic of Capricorn. So you can see this area receives direct rays of the sun. So this area has water vapor, excess water vapor, because evaporation is higher in this area than this area, because the direct rays of the sun falls on the land as well as water bodies in this area. So evaporation happens in the land as well as in the water body, but this area receives less sunshine than this area, so the evaporation is also less. So the amount of dust particles and water vapor however varies from equator towards the poles. So whenever we are talking about dust particles also, dust particles in the air are also found in the areas where you have higher temperature as well as water vapor. So the water vapor quantity or quality of water vapor as well as quantity varies from equator towards the poles. Now today we are going to learn composition of atmosphere and its gases. So we are going to study each gas in detail. So Now we are studying of the gases which surrounds our earth. Okay, they are permanent gases as well as variable gases as well as aerosols as well as water vapor. Okay, so the first gas that comes to our mind is the most predominant of all gases. So most predominant of all the gases is known as nitrogen, which is 78% in the atmosphere. And this nitrogen is used by the plants. Certain bacteria absorb nitrogen in roots of the plants, and this nitrogen is called nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, so plants also basically needs nitrogen. Okay, and this nitrogen is called nitrogen fixing bacteria. Liquid nitrogen is used to preserve foods in refrigerators. Okay, likewise nitrogen is also used as fertilizers. They are known as formatted chemical fertilizers in order to improve the quality of the soil for the farmers. So nitrogen is used for increasing the fertility of the soil also. It is also used for making nitric acid. Remember that. So the first one is nitrogen. The second one is oxygen. Oxygen, the percentage of oxygen or the composition of oxygen in the atmosphere is 21%. Oxygen is used by all living organisms for breathing, for respiration, and also helps in the process of burning. So it is used for breathing, which is known as respiration, okay, as well as it helps in burning also. Oxygen helps in burning also. Okay, burning, burning, which means combustion, combustion, combustion. So it helps in burning also. It helps in respiration as well as it helps in combustion. Okay, now oxygen, when it is combined with hydrogen, okay, it makes water. Remember that. Oxygen when combined with hydrogen makes water. Oxygen will be almost in small quantity or found in small quantity at the height of 120 kilometers. 120 kilometers. So oxygen is less in the thermosphere, 120 kilometers. So here you don't find oxygen in this particular place. That is up to thermosphere. Now look at the thermosphere here. First layer is troposphere, the second layer is stratosphere, the third layer is mesosphere, the fourth layer is thermosphere. So you can see the height of the thermosphere. It starts from 80 kilometers to 450 kilometers. So this is the area where you find less oxygen, or oxygen is almost negligible. Okay. Similarly, carbon dioxide and water vapor are found only up to 90 kilometers from the surface of the earth. So only up to 90 kilometers. Only up to 90 kilometers means near this area you find, okay, up till here you find, so the initial boundaries, the first starting boundaries of the thermosphere. So up till here you find gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor are found. And water vapor and carbon dioxide are found up to 90 kilometers. Up to 90 kilometers. So which gases are found? Carbon dioxide, CO2, and water vapor. And water vapor are found up to 90 kilometers. Remember that, okay? But up till here you find oxygen is less. Oxygen is very less in this layer, okay? Now we are doing the third gas, which is known as carbon dioxide, okay? Which is known as carbon dioxide. So I am rubbing this one. The third gas that you find in our atmosphere is carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay? It is a very important gas because as you can see that it is a transparent to the incoming solar radiation but opaque to the outgoing terrestrial radiation. Now you can see that during the daytime the sun shines, okay, and gives us light and heat. But during the night, the heat of the earth has to, okay, vaporize in the thin air. But it is due to carbon dioxide, you will find the heat gets absorbed in the atmosphere, and it makes our earth little bit hotter. So as you can see, I'll make a diagram here. Now let's take for example, there is the earth. Okay, during the daytime, okay, the sun shines during the daytime. Okay, remember that during the daytime the sun shines and gives us heat, okay, light, etc. But during the night, the heat has to evaporate. The heat has to evaporate from the earth. The heat has to evaporate from the earth. But due to pollution, or due to increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, so CO2, 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 I'm writing here. Because of the increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide basically traps the heat of the sun during the night time and does not let heat to vaporize in the thin air, which makes our earth hotter day by day. It is due to pollution, and this is causing global warming. So carbon dioxide is a very important gas. It is transparent to the incoming solar radiation, means it transmits light, it gives us light. Carbon dioxide does not block the light of the sun, but when the heat has to evaporate during the night time, it blocks the heat. That is called opaque to the outgoing terrestrial radiation. Terrestrial means earthly heat. Okay, terrestrial means earthly heat. So this is causing climate change. Okay. Now you must also have heard of greenhouse gases. Okay, this greenhouse gases, GHGs, it is known as greenhouse gases. Okay, like carbon dioxide, like methane, like nitrogen oxide, like ozone. Now why ozone? Ozone is good also. It's a good gas also, it is a bad gas also. Okay, we'll come to that later on. And chlorofluorous carbon. Now chlorofluorous carbon, whenever we are talking about CHOLO, chloro, okay, okay, what is this one? Chlorofluorous carbon, CH, okay, LORO, chloro, okay, FLURO, fluorocarbons. Now these chlorofluorocarbons are basically emitted by old refrigerators. Now if you throw an old refrigerator, okay, and do not use it, still that refrigerator will emit this harmful gas. When this gas is emitted in the atmosphere, it stays in the atmosphere for almost 10 years. And this is one of the major gas which basically is eating our ozone layer. Remember that. And this also falls in the category of greenhouse gases, which is also known as CFC, okay, chlorofluorous carbon. Okay, initial is that. It is largely responsible for the greenhouse effect. Okay, the volume of other gases is constant, but the volume of carbon dioxide has been rising in the past few decades, mainly because of the burning of fossil fuels. Now you burn petroleum, fossil fuels are petroleum, charcoal, coal, etc., even diesel, etc., even kerosene, etc. These are known as fossil fuels. Basically, okay, once used, it is gone forever, but once you use petroleum, it basically emits harmful gases or greenhouse gases. So because of these gases, okay, the temperature of the earth is rising, and it is rising due to what? Due to carbon dioxide, which is found in the atmosphere, which absorbs the terrestrial heat of the sun. Okay, remember that. So this has increased the temperature of the air or atmosphere. Okay. Now the fourth gas which we are going to do is ozone. Okay. The fourth gas which we are going to do is known as ozone. Ozone, okay, basically is O3, okay. It is made of three oxygens, okay, it is made of three oxygens, okay, is another important component of the atmosphere found between 10 to 50 kilometers above the surface of the earth, okay. So it is found from 10 to 50 kilometers, okay, 10 to 50 kilometers. So it is found in this layer called the stratosphere. So ozone is found in this layer, okay, which protects our earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Basically, it acts as a filter and absorbs the ultraviolet rays radiating or coming from the sun and prevents them from reaching the surface of the earth, okay. It helps us, okay, from getting direct heat of the sun, okay. Otherwise, if we get direct heat of the sun, then what will happen? We'll get lots of illnesses or skin diseases or cataract diseases when we are basically exposed to the, okay, harmful radiation of the sun. So ozone layer acts as a blanket which protects our earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Not only ozone but also water vapor, remember that, okay. Hope you find this lesson useful. In the next class I'll be teaching you water vapor, that is the fifth component of atmosphere. Thank you for listening.